This is your lesson for the week of May 13th. Your assignment is on Delta Math. And that assignment will be due before the Google Meet on the 20th, all right? We're taking a look at the first question. In the first question, what you have is you have this circle, okay? We would call this circle B because you name a circle by its center. You have this angle, okay? This angle ABC. Okay, this angle is called a central angle. Okay, then you have what's called an intercepted arc. Intercepted arc. Okay? So, if you look at this arc here, an arc is just a piece of a circumference of a circle, okay? This arc measures 50 degrees. Well, the central angle measures the same as its intercepted arc. Vice versa, the intercepted arc measures the same as the central angle. Okay, so that's how that works. So the central angle, okay, the measure of the central angle is equal to the measure of the intercepted arc. All right, let's look at picture 2. So for picture 2, you have what's called an inscribed angle. So an inscribed angle, this is inscribed in circle O. This is circle O. An inscribed angle, you'll have the end points of the angle will be on the circumference of the circle. Okay, so this is an inscribed angle. So this inscribed angle measures half the measure of its intercepted arc. So the intercepted arc is the arc going from A to C. Okay, so let's say that measures 60 degrees, then this would be 30 degrees. And then vice versa, the intercepted arc would be twice the measure of the inscribed angle. Okay, so the inscribed angle, the measure of the inscribed angle is 1/2 the measure of the intercepted arc. Now, what's interesting about this is that geometry comes in layers, so you will encounter pictures that will be in black and white. Keep in mind. Okay, I'm going to make this green. This angle here has the same measure as angle ABC. So angle ADC would have the same measure as angle ABC because they're inscribed to the same intercepted arc. Okay, so that is an extremely important fact. So angles inscribed to the same arc are congruent. Now, likewise, if angles are inscribed to the same sized arc, they would be congruent as well. Same with central angles, by the way, okay? So let's take a look at number 3. So in question number 3, A and C are endpoints of a diameter. So if I were to connect those, okay, they're endpoints of a diameter. Well, we have this angle ABC that's inscribed in a semicircle. Okay, the reason it's inscribed in a semicircle is because if you go from one endpoint of a diameter to the other endpoint of a diameter, that would form half a circle. So this is a semicircle. Well, semicircles have 180 degrees because that's half of 360. So this has 180 degrees. Therefore, the inscribed angle would measure 90 degrees. So this is actually a right angle. Okay? So an angle inscribed in a semicircle is a right angle. In example 4, this is called a cyclic quadrilateral. Comes from cycle. A cyclic quadrilateral has all 4 vertices on the circumference of a circle. Okay, so we're going to be talking about the relationship between the measure of angle B and the measure of angle D. You can pause the video for a second and think about it. So there's 360 degrees in a circle. All right, well, let's think about this. So it's easier to think about something with a concrete model. Okay, so let's imagine that this arc, that the measure of arc ADC, we go like this to show an arc. So let's say that is 200 degrees. And then let's say that the measure of arc ABC, I don't even need to give it to you. Okay, so the measure of arc ABC, what would that measure? You do know what it would measure because you know a full circle is 360 and you know that this green arc was 200. So then logically, it's 160 degrees. All right, well, now, if you take a look at angle ABC, isn't that inscribed in this green arc? So how many degrees would that have? Okay, 100 degrees. Now, if we look at angle ADC, that is inscribed in, that's correct, arc ABC. So therefore, it would be half of 160 degrees. So it would be 80 degrees. All right, if you add these together, the sum is 180 degrees. Now, you could make a more abstract argument. There are many ways you could go about doing this. You could do a proof, whatnot. Okay, however, the thing is here that when you have a cyclic quadrilateral, the opposite angles will always be supplementary, okay? In a cyclic quadrilateral, opposite angles will be supplementary. Supplementary means adding to 180, remember? Okay, let's take a look at question 5. So for question 5, we're going to be finding the area of this yellow sector. Okay? So you have this central angle, which is 50 degrees. Now the entire number of degrees in a circle is 360. So to find the area of a sector, what you would do is you would take the central angle and divide it by the total number of degrees in a circle, because a sector is a fraction of a circle. So it is 50 360ths of the circle. Then you just take the area, pi r squared, pi times 8 squared. So then you would just type that into your calculator. So on my calculator, I typed in 50 times 64. I got 3,200. And then I typed in 3,200 divided by 360 times pi. So the area is approximately 27.9. If they ask you to leave it in terms of pi, you can just leave it as 3200 over 360 pi. And actually, I don't need this little degree sign here. Don't know if that would confuse anybody. So let me just get it out of there, just in case. Bloop. Here we go. All right, so let's take a look at number 6. For question number 6, I'm going to find the length of this minor arc, AC. So when you're dealing with the length of an arc, the length of an arc would be a piece of what? Yes, it would be a piece of a circumference. So you have 40 over 360 times 2 pi r, or pi d, whichever you prefer. Pi times d. Okay, what is the diameter here? So now I'm going to type that into my calculator. So I typed 40 times 16 into my calculator. I got 640. Then I typed 640 divided by 360 times pi, and that's 5.6. Something that's worthy to let you know is that if you're on your calculator and you go to alpha y equals, and you choose choice 1, and you type in 640 in the numerator, and you type in 360 in the denominator, it will automatically reduce it for you. Okay, so just keep that in mind. And you can also convert from fractions to decimals by using that same key. All right, you can also make improper fractions. So you have the ability to do all of that. So if I reduce this, I would get 16 over 9 pi. Okay, but this is rounded. You always have to read the directions. The directions trump everything. I hope this video has helped you, and I hope that you'll be able to complete your Delta Math successfully this week. All right, thank you.